In this video we're gonna create this health bar. Okay, whenever we collide, as you can see, the health bar, the green bar getting decrease, as you can see. So we're gonna create this in this video. So without further delay, let's dive into this topic. So uh, so what we need to do, go to hierarchy. Okay, right click or hit the plus icon, go to UI and select canvas. Okay, select canvas. We're gonna place all of the UI elements into this canvas. So select the canvas and F2 focus on. Okay, and go to canvas scalar of this canvas, and constant pixel size to select scale with screen size. So it will scale with screen size. So and select X to 1920. Okay, 1920, and one Y in the 1080. Okay, 1080. So what we gonna do, we're gonna place all of the UI elements to this canvas. Okay, and we selected scale with screen size, which will scale with all of the UI elements with our screen size. So you select the canvas and drag it to the top in the hierarchy. Okay, so right click on the, to create health bar, we need to create the slider. So what we need to do, right click on the canvas. Okay, right click on the canvas and go to UI and select this slider. Okay, select the slider, and you can name it something like health bar, you can do that. Okay, so what we're gonna do, select the canvas and select the stretch tool over here, and select it and hold down alt on your keyboard, so it will say stretch from center. Okay, as you can see, you can resize that from center. Okay, so what we're gonna do, go to slider and delete this handle slide area. Okay, we don't need this. Okay, and go to slider. Okay, go to slider and select interactable to unchecked, and transition, okay, color tint to none, and navigation to select none. Okay, so what we're gonna do is select the slider and value over here, increase it. Okay, increase it. As you can see, the white bar is increasing. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna change this color. So you have to select this fill. Okay, fill image, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna select different color. We're gonna select green like that. Okay, so what we're gonna do, select the slider once again. As you can see, whenever we increase or decrease this value in the slider, health bar is the bar of green bar is decreasing or increasing, as you can see. So what we're gonna do, firstly we need to resize this. So select that fill area and match up with the health bar. Okay, match up with the health bar. Now it's fine. So what we're gonna do, we're not gonna do it float number, as you can see 0.5. So we're gonna do it like whole numbers. As we know, we set in the last video our max health to 5, which was integer. So integer basically whole number. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna check this whole number too, and we're gonna set this max value of this slider to 5 unit, or the player max health. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we need this slider. Okay, we need this slider. Firstly, what we're gonna do, select the slider. Okay, select the slider and go to rect transform. Over here you can see this icon. So say, click on that and hold down alt on your keyboard and select this top left corner. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna drag it little over here like this much. Okay, now it's fine. You can call it health bar, it will be fine. I'm gonna leave it as it is slider. So we need this slider. Okay, we need this slider component, so we can change the value, max value, and the value, as you can see. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna set our this slider max value to our max health. Okay, player max health. So what we need to do, we need to go over to player health script of the player. So in the so that is an UI element. Okay, slider is UI element. So what we need to do, we need to include the namespace of using unity engine dot UI namespace. So we will able to get the slider components. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to use using unity engine. Okay, using unity engine dot UI. Okay, UI. So UI, and select that. Okay, that is an UI element, so that's why we need to include this using unity engine dot UI namespace. So what we're gonna create, what we're gonna create a public empty slider component. Okay, so we can drag to that slider component, that this slider. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to create public. Okay, so we can see in the inspector, that type of the component will be slider, and you can call this health bar like something like that, but I'm gonna leave it slider. We're gonna call it slider, and controllers on your keyboard, and head over to Unity. You will able to see in the player script, player health script, that slider. Okay, that slider component will appear, which will says none, that will be empty. So what we need to do, we need to drag this slider. Okay, drag this slider to that field, so we will have link of this slider, then we can tweak this max value and the value numbers. Okay, so just wait for to compile, and select that player, and you will able to see. Okay, you will able to see, select that player. As you can see, slider parameter appear which says none slider. So what we need to do, we need to drag the slider, okay, into that slot. As so now we have link of this slider. Now we can tweak these values, max value and this value. Okay, so what we're going to do in the start function, we're gonna do it at start function. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to slider. Okay, slider. Okay, slider dot max value, and we're gonna set to max health. Okay, max health. As we know, max health is our 5. As we know, the max health is our 5. So max health is 5, so slider dot max value over here will be 5, and we are calling in this start function, and start function get call when the game start. Okay, and it call one time, just one time. So in the start we will have the max value over here 5. Okay, control s on your keyboard. So this max value will be 5. As we know, we directly setting slider dot max value to our max health, and we know our max health by default we set to 5. And control s on your keyboard, and head over to Unity. Okay, you will able to see this max value. Okay, max value will be 5, slider max value will be 5, because as we know, we set our player max health by 5 unit. Okay, 5 unit. So just wait for to compile, and when we start the game, you will able to see the max value will be 5. And also we need to this we need to go to this value. Okay, so if we hit play, we will able to see the max value will be 5, and we also need to set this value. Okay, slider dot value to our max health, so we will have the current value of slider. So as you can see, max value becomes 5. As we know, our player max health is 5, and we are setting slider dot max value equal to our max health. Okay, max health is 5. So what we also need to do, also need to get this value. Okay, this value, as you can see, if we decrease or increase, the green bar just decreasing or increasing, so we will have the notation. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go over to go over to here. Okay, as you can see, we created this take damage function over, and take damage function, as you can see, we are subtracting by 1 unit from our max health. Okay, on collision inter 2D function over here get call whenever we collide with something, and we are checking. Okay, whatever we collide, if that game object has tag our enemy tag, as we know, we assign it enemy as a enemy tag, and then we are calling this take damage function. Okay, and take damage function, as you can see, max health minus equal damage. As a damage we passed 1, as you can see the argument. So the max health is 5, so 5 minus 1 will be 4. Okay, 4, and it will somehow hit the 0. Okay, when the max health is 0, let's suppose max health is 0, so 0 minus 1 will be minus 1, so it will go to negative value. So that's why we checked over here, if the max health is lesser than or equal to 0, then what we are doing, we are returning. Basically, this line on get call after return this. Okay, so this on go to negative value. So the max health will, if we call this for the first time, so max health is 5. So 5 minus 1, as you know, 5 minus 1, it will be 4. So the max health will be 4. So what we need to do, we need to do this. Okay, slider dot value. Okay, we are going to the current value of this slider, and we're gonna set it to max health. Okay, we're gonna set it to max health. Why we are doing it update function? Because update function get call every single frame, and we need to check the we need to keep track every single frame the max health. If we call this take damage function for the first time. Okay, so max health we set 5, so 5 minus 1 will be 4. 4, so the max health will be over here 4, so the slider dot value over here, the current value of the slider will be 4. So as we know, so it will decrease the green line, okay, green health bar. So that's why we are doing it update function, because update function get called every time, and we need to check, and we need to set the slider value every single frame, okay, to our max health. Let's suppose we call this second time this take damage function. As we know, the second time it will be 4, 4, so the max health will be 4, 4 minus 1 will be 3, so the max health over here will be 3, so the slider dot value will be 3, okay, slider dot current value of the slider will be 3. As we know, the max health reaches 3. Whenever the max health becomes 0, as you can see, we are calling the die function, okay. Whenever max health reach 0, we are calling the die function, okay. And as you can see, die function, we are just printing out debug.log player diet in the console, okay. We're just printing out the message in the console, okay. As you can see, we are calling the die function whenever we hits the max health 0, and we are setting the current value of slider dot value to our max health, okay. When the max health will be 0, okay, when the max health will be 0, so the slider dot value will be 0, as we know. So the green bar will disappear, okay, green bar will disappear, so we will notify that the player game object has been destroyed. So control s on your keyboard and head over to Unity. You will able to see this value over here in the slider, okay. A slider will change with our max health, okay. If the max health become 4, so the slider dot value over here will be 4, because we directly setting it, and we are doing it update function, and update function get every single frame. So that's why we need to check every single frame, so the every single frame it will match up with our max health, okay, this value. So if we hit play, when the game start, max value over here will be 5. As we know, where in the start function we set the slider dot max value to our max health, and we are setting the slider dot value, the current value of slider, as you can see, 5, okay. When we collide with this enemy, as you can see, we are calling the take damage function, okay, take damage function. And take damage function, as you can see over here, it's just subtracting by 1 unit from our max health. So let's suppose the max health is 5, so 5 minus 1 will be 4. As you can see, as a damage parameter we pass 1, so as you can see, so the damage will be 1, so 5 minus 1 will be 4. If we call this one more time, the second time, so for this already we know 4, so the max health over here 4, so the slider value over here will be 4, okay. And a 4 minus 1 will be 3 if we call this second time, so 3, so the max health become 3. As you can see, whenever we collide with the game object of enemy, we are calling the take damage function, and take damage function just subtracting by 1 unit from our max health. So max health, so it will go like 5, then 3, 4, then 3, then 2, then 1, okay. So it will match up with our slider dot value. Control s on your keyboard and head over to Unity. You will able to see the change, as you seen the change, okay, as you seen the change. So and we are selecting the top left corner, okay. As you can see, it will resize with our screen, as you can see, okay. Select that, okay, select that slider and go to right transform of that slider and hold down alt and select this top left one, okay. So it will resize with our screen, as you can see. Now if I play, whenever I collide with this enemy, we just subtracting from our max health by 1 unit, as we set our max health to player max health to 5 unit, okay. When we collide, it will be 4, okay. So this slider dot current value will be 4, so the green line will go to, as you can see, whenever I collide, the green line, as you can see, the green bar just going down, okay, just going down. And lastly, whenever the max health reaches 0, as you can see, the player diet message showing in the console, okay, and getting print out in the console, okay. So I hope you get the idea of health bar, and if you were new to my channel, then subscribe it for future tutorials. And if you enjoyed this video, just like that and share it with your friends who just want to learn Unity from the beginning. And if you want to support me, you can support me on patreon.com. And lastly, thanks for watching this video, okay. Goodbye.